starting this video off with another city spot. Behind me are the famous Victorian homes. This is known as the Painted Ladies, directly across the street from Alamo Square Park. And for those that watched Full House, a TV show from back in the day, will recognize this area pretty well. All right, that's gonna do it for this brief visit here. Definitely come check this place out if you're looking to relax. Also some really good restaurants in the area. And with that, let's get into the poker. All right, first notable hand I wasn't able to get on camera, but I had 5-6 of diamonds on the button, got called out of the small blind and flopped the bottom end of the joint, and it held across the rest of the street. So it took out a pretty nice pot to start off the session. Seven-handed in this next one, I raise it to 20 from middle position with king queen off, and I get 4 callers: the cutoff, button, small blind, and big blind. 5 ways to a flop of ace-7-3 with a couple of spades, so I flop the running nut draw. I check when it gets to me. Button fires 35, both blinds call, and I call looking to pick up a turn that I can leverage. Cutoff calls as well. Turn comes a 5 of diamonds, so that doesn't give me any additional equity. Checks over to the button once more, who fires, and everyone folds. 6-handed, I raise it to 20 with jack-9 of hearts from the cutoff, button, and big blind call. We go to a flop of 8-4 deuce with a couple of hearts, so I flop overs with a flush draw. Big blind fires 50, I call, button folds. Turn comes a queen of hearts, so I get there. He checks this time, I go for value, 100. He makes the call. River comes, a 4 of clubs, pairing the board. This time he leads for 225 with another 600 or 700 back. It's pretty close between raising or calling here. I think I can still get called by worse if I raise, but after some deliberation, I decide to just put in the call, and he tables 8-4 of spades for the full house. Glad I didn't raise. Next hand I raise it to 20 from under the gun with ace-king of diamonds, and I get 2 callers. Going out of position to a flop of queen jack-9, a couple of clubs, and a heart. I see bet 20, and one of the 2 players call. Turn comes a 10 of spades, so I make gin. I check. He bets 45, and a check raise looks strong here, but that's what I choose, hoping to cool off a king or get value from 2 pair holdings. I make it 200. And after thinking it through for a bit, he releases his hand. Next hand, low jack opens to 15, cutoff and button call. I'm in the big blind with jack 10 off, and I put in the squeeze to 105. Low jack, who's the initial raiser, calls, and the cutoff calls as well. 3 ways to a flop of 9-4 deuce monotone, all spades. I choose to check this one, and the 2 players check as well. Turn comes at 8 of hearts, so good card giving me additional equity. I bet 125, cutoff calls, and button drops out. River comes a king of diamonds, so I brick out. Can't win with just jack high, so I bet 275, around half pot. He doesn't think too long before making the call. I sheepishly turn my hand over, and he proudly turns over ace jack off for the hero ace high call down. That's what you call getting soul red. Couple of limps in this next one. I raise it to 30 from the hijack with ace-4 of spades. Only the big blind calls. We go to a flop of jack-9-4, 2 hearts and a diamond. So I flop bottom pair on a moist board. Action checks through. Turn comes a 5 of hearts, bringing in the front door flush. He checks, and I'm just looking to get the showdown, so I check. River comes a 4th heart, but it does come the 4 of hearts, giving me trips. He decides to fire on this final street. $45. The opponent making this bet is an older Asian man, which generally isn't the bluffing type. That said, I do got trips, and I feel like the hand's too good to fold, so I put in a call, and he does prove me wrong as he tables 7-8 of clubs for the bluffs. So I take this one down with 3 of the number that Asians don't like. The 4 is good to me though in this instance, and take this one down. Next hand I raise it to 20 from the button with king queen off. Both blinds defend. Flop comes king king 6, so I flop gin. When it checks to me, I decide to slow play for a change. Turn comes the case king, giving me quads. Small blind checks, and big blind bets 30. I just call, small blind folds. River comes a 9 of clubs, and I pick up a little bit of run good as big blind continues firing, this time for 70. This is the same player that called me with the ace high earlier, so with the opportunity of getting called light, I go for a larger sizing of 300. He goes in the tank for quite a long while, I want to say 45 seconds to a minute, and ends up making the correct play against me again. He lets it go, but nice to be on the winning side of quad kings as opposed to what happened in vlog 81. Next hand I raise to 20 from middle position with ace king off. hijack, middle position, and big blind call. Four ways to a flop of ace jack 3, couple of diamonds and a club. Good flop. When he checks to me, I see bet 50 and only the hijack calls. Turn comes a 7 of clubs, putting up a second flush draw. Betting again is the standard play, which I'm definitely all for, but I choose to employ a mix of checking to play deceptively. He doesn't take the bait though and checks back. River comes a deuce of hearts, good blank overall. I put out a bet this time, 150, hoping he gets stubborn with a hand such as a pair of jacks. No dice though as he folds, but I do take this one down. Next hand there's an early position raise to 20. 4 callers, and then it gets to me in the big blind with ace 3 off. I choose not to get out of line and just put in the call. We go to a flop of ace king jack, 2 hearts and a club. Top pair, bad kicker, and a slippery board. Action checks through. Turn comes a deuce of clubs, putting up more draws. Checks late position, who bets 40. Folds to me, I call, and early position calls as well. River comes a jack of spades, so good run out overall. Checks to the turn better, who also knuckles. I table, and it's good. Last notable hand from this session, under the gun limps. I raise to 25 from middle position with 5-6 of spades, hijack, button, and the under the gun limper call. We go to a flop of ace jack 6 rainbow. Checks to me, I see bet 30, hijack and button drop out, under the gun calls. Turn comes a 3 of spades, so I pick up backdoor equity. He checks with 160, about a pot-sized bet, and he'd been playing pretty tight, so my thought was that he wasn't going to fold to an all-in. I check to try to realize my equity on the river, which comes a 10 of hearts. Unfortunately, I brick out. He bet 60, and that ends this one. All right, that's going to do it for the hands in this one. Got in the game for 1100, out for 631. Another loss, minus 469. This one happening in April. Took a break since the last video that you saw, which was from March. And although this one was a loss, definitely feel a little bit better since taking a break. Feel more level-headed, and perhaps got a little too spicy with the Jack 10. And although this one is a loss, it doesn't hurt as bad as the ones from March, just because those were happening constantly. And after taking a break, I do feel better. But the poker still needs some work. Gonna try to keep at it and run it back up. And with that, just want to thank you for the support as always. If you're not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you consider doing so. And I'll see you guys on the next one.